Welcome back to Edzy, your personal AI tutor, and this extended revision episode for Class 10 English, CBSE Class 10, on the poem Dust of Snow. I am Gaurav, and with me is Swati. We will spend approximately 30 to 60 minutes together, but there is no need to feel rushed. Keep a notebook nearby if you have one, though you can also simply listen while traveling or relaxing. A student from Pune, Meera, once said that a disappointing school day felt slightly better after she noticed sunlight on a wet window. That is exactly the kind of small change we will explore. We will understand the poem, its vocabulary, mood transformation, unusual images, symbolism, themes, likely questions, common mistakes, and exam ready answer frames. Let us revise calmly and think deeply.
And do not worry if the poem seems very short. Short poems can carry large meanings. By the end, you should be able to explain not only what happened, but also why Robert Frost chose a crow, a hemlock tree, and snow. I will keep asking you questions, so do not remain a passive listener. When I ask something, try to answer before Gaurav explains it.
Let us begin with the central surprise. A very ordinary moment in nature changes the speaker's emotional state. A crow shakes snow from a hemlock tree, and that falling snow touches the speaker. Nothing dramatic happens in the outside world, yet something important changes inside the speaker. This contrast between a small event and large emotional effect is the doorway into the poem.
Here is your first thought question. If a person is having a bad day, do you expect a major event to be necessary before their mood can improve? Or can a very small observation, sound, or movement make a difference? Think of your own answer for a moment. The poem does not dismiss sadness. It shows that sadness can be interrupted by an unexpected experience.
That idea is important. The speaker does not say that the entire day became perfect. The poem says that some part of a day previously regretted was saved. So the change is meaningful, but it is also limited and believable. One moment does not erase every difficulty. It gives the speaker enough emotional relief to look at the day differently.
Now let us map the movement of the poem in 4 steps. First, there is a crow. Second, the crow shakes snow down from a hemlock tree. Third, the snow touches the speaker and changes the mood in the heart. Fourth, part of a day that the speaker had regretted is saved. Can you already see the sequence from nature to feeling to renewed meaning?
The poem begins with the action of the crow. The crow shakes down the dust of snow. The action is physical and simple. Snow is released from the tree and falls upon the speaker. But the poet does not stop at describing weather. The event becomes emotionally significant because it reaches the speaker's heart and produces a change of mood.
Notice the expression change of mood. It tells us that the speaker's state of mind is not fixed. The speaker may have been feeling regret, sorrow, or emotional heaviness, but that feeling shifts. This is not a change in location or situation, it is a change in perception and emotion caused by a brief contact with nature.
The last part gives us the result. The speaker had rued part of the day, meaning the speaker had held it in regret. After the snow falls, some part of that regretted day is saved. The wording is careful. It does not claim that every problem vanished. It shows that a small positive shift can still make a real difference.
Let us test the basic understanding. What changed the poet's mood? The crow alone, the hemlock tree alone, or the dust of snow shaken down by the crow from the hemlock tree? Think carefully. The strongest answer should describe the complete natural event, not mention only one object without explaining its action and effect.
The complete answer is that the dust of snow shaken down by the crow from the hemlock tree changed the poet's mood. The falling snow created a moment of contact between nature and the speaker. In an examination, connect the event with the emotional result. Do not write merely that the crow changed the mood, because the poem focuses on the snow falling from the tree.
Now we will slow down for vocabulary. What is a dust of snow? It means a small, light quantity of snow, almost like particles or powder shaken from the tree. It is not presented as a heavy snowfall. This small quantity matters because the poem's larger emotional effect grows out of a delicate, ordinary event.
The word hemlock refers to a poisonous plant or tree with small white flowers. The source explains this meaning directly. In the poem, the hemlock is not chosen as a traditionally beautiful tree. Its poisonous quality contributes to darker imagery, which makes the later effect of snow more striking. The natural setting therefore contains both unpleasant and beautiful associations.
The word rued means held in regret. If the speaker had rued part of the day, the speaker had been sorry about or dissatisfied with that part of the day. This word is important in an answer because it establishes the speaker's starting mood. Without explaining rued, a student may miss the contrast between the beginning and the end.
Here is a useful answer sentence. At first, the poet was in a regretful or sorrowful mood and had ruined part of the day. A simple natural incident in which a crow shook snow from a hemlock tree changed this mood and gave the poet a feeling of hope and relief. This answer is grounded in the poem and clearly presents the before and after states.
Your turn. If you had to explain rued in one word suitable for an examination, what would you choose? Regretted is the clearest choice. You may also explain it as felt sorry about. Avoid writing a completely different meaning, such as celebrated or remembered, because the emotional direction of the poem is regret at the beginning.
Let us now examine the emotional movement more closely. At the start, the speaker's day contains regret. The speaker seems to be emotionally low, and the surroundings initially support a darker impression because of the crow and hemlock. Then the falling snow produces a change in the heart. The heart is not a literal location of the weather, it represents the speaker's inner emotional condition.
I want to clarify something students often confuse. Does the poem say that the speaker becomes permanently joyful? No. The poem gives us a momentary but important renewal. The speaker's mood changes enough to save some part of the regretted day. That is why a balanced answer should use words such as relief, hope, renewal, or emotional improvement rather than claiming complete happiness.
Exactly. A strong interpretation respects the scale of the poem. The incident is small, and the emotional result is significant, but not exaggerated. The poet notices how nature can alter the inner self. The poem therefore presents emotion as responsive and changeable. A person may be weighed down by regret, yet still remain open to a restorative moment.
Think of the phrase saved some part of a day. Why is saved a powerful word here? It suggests that the day was not entirely lost. The natural moment rescued a portion of it from regret. The idea is hopeful because it tells us that even when a day has gone badly, a small experience can still give it value.
From an exam point of view, describe the mood change in a clear sequence. First, mention the poet's regret or sorrow. Then, identify the falling dust of snow as the cause. Finally, explain that the poet feels a positive change, such as hope, relief, or renewed appreciation, and that part of the regretted day is saved. Sequence makes the answer easy to follow.
Let us do a quick recall without looking back. Complete this thought. The poem begins with a natural image of a what, acting on a what, under or near a what. Say your answer aloud if possible. The expected sequence is a crow, snow, and a hemlock tree. But remember that the crow shakes the snow down from the tree.
Good. Now recall the emotional sequence in three words: regret, change, and what. The final idea is saving. The speaker had rued part of the day, experienced a change of mood, and felt that some part of the day was saved. These three ideas form a compact memory structure for the entire poem.
Up तक we have covered the basic event, the vocabulary, and the mood transformation. If any doubt remains, an Etsy AI tutor session can help you examine the exact doubt step by step through questions instead of giving you a memorized paragraph. But for now, let us continue with the most interesting choice in the poem. Why did Frost use a crow?
In many poems, birds are commonly presented through images associated with beauty, song, or grace. Frost instead places a crow at the center of this moment. The crow is generally linked with darker or less pleasant imagery. This choice challenges the expectation that nature must appear only in traditionally beautiful forms before it can offer comfort.
Let us ask the source based question directly. Is a crow often the first bird that comes to mind when people think of beautiful poetry? Usually, students may more readily associate poetry with birds considered graceful or melodious. The crow can bring images of darkness or foreboding. Frost uses that familiar association, but he does not allow it to control the whole meaning of the scene.
That is the key. The crow is not simply labeled good or bad. It participates in an event that brings emotional relief. Therefore, the poem makes us reconsider our fixed ideas about natural objects. An element that seems dark can become part of a beautiful or healing experience. Beauty and comfort may emerge from an unexpected source.
Now compare the crow with a more conventionally beautiful tree. The source mentions maple, oak, and pine as possible examples. Why does the choice of hemlock matter? The hemlock is poisonous and is associated with darker feelings. So it creates a contrast with the white snow and the positive change in the speaker's mood.
The poet's choice prevents the poem from becoming a simple picture of pleasant nature. Instead, the scene includes a crow and a poisonous tree, both of which can suggest sorrow or darkness. Yet the snow falling from that tree changes the speaker's mood. Frost shows that nature is complex, and its influence cannot be reduced to beautiful objects alone.
A likely question may ask how frost presents nature in the poem. Before answering, think of 3 points: the action of nature, the unusual images, and the emotional effect. Can you put them together? Nature acts through the crow and snow. It appears through a crow and a hemlock rather than only idealized objects, and it transforms the speaker's mood.
That three-part structure is excellent for an answer. You can say that Frost presents nature as active, unexpected, and emotionally powerful. It is active because the crow shakes the snow. It is unexpected because the crow and hemlock are darker images. It is emotionally powerful because the event gives the speaker a change of mood and saves part of a regretted day.
Let us move from description to symbolism. A symbol is an image or object that suggests a larger meaning. The crow and hemlock can represent sorrow or darker aspects of experience. The dust of snow can stand for change, freshness, beauty, and the possibility of emotional renewal. These meanings are connected to what happens in the poem, not added randomly.
Be careful with the phrase represent both joy and sorrow. The source encourages us to see emotional complexity. The crow and hemlock are connected with darker imagery, but they also become part of the joyful or relieving change because the snow is shaken from the hemlock by the crow. So the same scene contains sorrowful associations and the possibility of joy.
This is where mild disagreement can help. Someone might say the crow and hemlock represent only sorrow because both have negative associations. Would that be a complete answer? I would say no. Their associations are dark, but their role in the event helps produce the change of mood. Meaning comes from the whole scene, not from a dictionary label attached to one object.
I agree, and I would add one qualification. We should not turn the crow into a symbol of happiness by itself. The poem does not say that the crow suddenly becomes traditionally beautiful. Rather, it shows that even an object associated with darkness can participate in a meaningful and uplifting moment. That distinction makes the interpretation precise.
Now answer this in your own words. What does the dust of snow stand for? A strong response is that it stands for a small, unexpected moment of beauty or change that refreshes the speaker's emotions. It represents the possibility that nature can interrupt sorrow and create relief, even through an ordinary incident.
Notice the relationship between the literal and symbolic levels. Literally, snow falls from a tree after a crow shakes it. Symbolically, that falling snow becomes a force of emotional transformation. A good examination answer should mention both levels. If you write only the symbolic meaning, the answer may feel vague. If you write only the literal event, you miss the poem's larger significance.
We are now entering the theme section. The first major theme is the connection between nature and human emotions. Nature is not merely background scenery. The event in nature directly affects the speaker's heart. This suggests that human feelings and the natural world are interconnected, and that attentive observation can influence how we experience a difficult day.
The second theme is emotional transformation through a small event. The poem does not depend on a grand miracle. A small quantity of snow and a brief movement of a crow are enough to change the speaker's mood. The chapter therefore teaches us to notice the significance that may exist inside ordinary moments.
The third theme is the coexistence of sorrow and joy. The poem begins with regret and dark associations, but it moves towards relief. Frost does not pretend that sorrow is absent. Instead, he shows that joy can appear alongside sorrow. A day can contain regret and still have a part that is worth saving.
This is also the poem's larger significance. A little thing touches a larger thing. The small falling snow touches the speaker's larger emotional life. The event is brief, but its effect reaches the meaning of the day. This helps us understand why a poem of only a few lines can still invite reflection about mood, perception, and hope.
Here is a personal reflection from the chapter's own direction. Have you ever felt depressed or hopeless and then experienced a small moment that changed your mood? It could be a natural sight, a sound, or another ordinary experience. You do not need to share private details. Simply identify the before feeling, the small moment, and the after feeling.
This reflection is not separate from literary study. It helps you understand the speaker's experience. When you connect the poem with a responsible personal example, you see why the transformation feels believable. However, in a factual answer, do not replace analysis with a long personal story. Use personal reflection only when the question invites it.
Quick check. Which statement is more accurate? First, the poem says that beautiful nature alone can improve a person's mood. Second, the poem shows that even unexpected and darker natural elements can be part of a moment that improves mood. The second statement is stronger because it includes the crow and hemlock and recognizes the poem's contrast.
Let us recap before the exam questions. We know the literal action. A crow shakes snow from a hemlock tree. We know the initial mood. The speaker has rued part of the day. We know the result. The falling snow changes the speaker's mood and saves some part of the day. We also know that the unusual natural images create a contrast between darkness and renewal.
The first practice question asks, what is a dust of snow? What changes the poet's mood? And how does the mood change? Build the answer in 3 sentences. Define the dust of snow as a light quantity of snow. Identify the crow shaking it from the hemlock tree. Then, explain that the poet moves from regret or sorrow towards hope, relief, or emotional renewal.
A polished answer could say this: the dust of snow is the small quantity of snow shaken from a hemlock tree by a crow. This simple natural incident changes the poet's mood. The poet had been regretting part of the day, but the falling snow brings a positive change in the heart and saves some part of the day from being completely lost. Notice the clear cause and effect.
The second question asks how frost presents nature. Do not write only that nature is beautiful. That would be incomplete. Mention that nature is shown through action because the crow shakes the snow, through unusual imagery because frost uses a crow and a hemlock, and through emotional influence because the scene changes the speaker's mood.
For a longer answer, explain the contrast. A crow is not usually the most conventional poetic image of beauty, and the hemlock is poisonous. These darker associations suggest sorrow or foreboding, yet the snow falling from the tree has a refreshing and uplifting effect. Frost therefore presents nature as complex, capable of holding darker and brighter meanings at the same time.
The third question invites personal reflection. A safe structure is simple. Begin by naming a difficult emotional state. Next, describe one small experience that interrupted it. Finally, explain how your mood changed. Keep the example genuine and brief. The educational point is not to create drama. It is to show how an ordinary moment can have a larger emotional significance.
Here is an important answer writing reminder. Use the poet or speaker carefully. The source describes the speaker's experience, while many questions refer to the poet. In ordinary school answers, you can follow the wording of the question, but keep the central facts accurate. Do not invent a background story about why the speaker regretted the day, because the poem does not provide one.
That is a high value warning. Students often invent a reason for the regret, such as an argument, a poor result, or a personal loss. But none of those details are given here. The poem leaves the reason open, so your answer should also leave it open. Discuss the feeling, the natural event, and the transformation, not an imagined backstory.
Another common mistake is to say that the hemlock tree is beautiful because it has white flowers and then ignore its poisonous nature. The definition tells us both that it is poisonous and that it has small white flowers. In analysis, acknowledge the darker association while explaining how the snow creates a contrasting effect.
And a third mistake is to treat the snow as merely weather. In this poem, the dust of snow is part of the emotional turning point. If the question asks for its significance, explain that it represents a small, unexpected moment capable of changing the speaker's mood. Always connect the image to its effect on the heart.
Let us use a 5-word memory chain: crow, hemlock, snow, mood, day. Can you expand each word? The crow shakes, the hemlock provides the setting, the snow falls, the mood changes, and the regretted day is partly saved. This chain is short enough for revision but rich enough to rebuild the poem's complete meaning.
Now, a reverse question. If the speaker had not experienced the falling snow, what emotional state would remain visible in the poem? The answer is the regretful or sorrowful state connected with having ruined part of the day. The question helps you recognize that the poem's meaning depends on contrast between the starting mood and the changed mood.
We are past the middle of the episode, and the main concepts are now in place. Before moving into the final revision, ask yourself whether you can explain the poem without retelling every word. Concept mastery means you can identify the event, interpret the contrast, and explain the emotional result in your own clear language.
Let us revisit the idea of unexpected beauty. The snow is shaken from a hemlock tree by a crow, not presented through an obviously charming scene. Yet the speaker receives a positive emotional effect. The poem challenges the assumption that only traditionally attractive parts of nature can offer comfort. This makes the message realistic and inclusive.
There is also an important lesson about attention. The speaker notices a small natural movement and allows it to affect the inner self. The poem invites readers to notice and appreciate such moments rather than dismissing them as insignificant. The change begins not with a grand explanation, but with awareness of what is happening around the speaker.
Try this 1-minute challenge. Explain the poem to an imaginary classmate using only 3 sentences. Sentence 1 should describe the crow, snow, and hemlock tree. Sentence 2 should describe the speaker's mood change. Sentence 3 should state the larger message about nature and small events. If you can do this clearly, you have the poem's core structure.
We are entering the final section now. First, dust of snow is about a small event in nature with a larger significance. Second, a crow shakes a dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Third, the speaker's heart experiences a change of mood. Fourth, the speaker has ruined part of the day, but the moment saves some part of it. These are the factual foundations.
The interpretive foundations are equally important. The crow and hemlock bring darker associations, while the snow introduces freshness, beauty, and change. Frost presents nature as complex rather than perfectly beautiful. The poem shows that sorrow and joy can coexist, and that an ordinary moment can interrupt a low mood without pretending that every problem has disappeared.
For vocabulary, remember dust of snow means a small, light quantity of snow. Hemlock is a poisonous plant or tree with small white flowers, and rude means held in regret. For answer writing, use cause and effect. State what happened, explain the initial mood, describe the change, and then connect it to the poem's larger message.
One common mistake must stay in your memory. Do not write that the poet's entire life or entire day became joyful. The poem says that some part of a day was saved. Also, do not invent why the day was regretted. Keep your answer within the poem. Regret, falling snow, change of mood, and partial emotional recovery.
Another exam point is balance. Do not describe the crow and hemlock as purely joyful, and do not describe them as purely sorrowful without considering their role in the complete scene. Explain their darker associations and then show how the snow transforms the emotional meaning of the moment. That balanced explanation demonstrates understanding rather than memorization.
Here is your final challenge. Close your notes and answer 3 questions aloud. What is the dust of snow? How does the poet's mood change? Why are the crow and hemlock important choices? Then write one 6 sentence answer combining all three. If you get stuck, ask yourself one guiding question at a time, just as we did throughout this revision.
After writing, check whether your answer includes the natural event, the word rude or its meaning, the change of mood, and the contrast created by the crow and hemlock. Remove any invented background details. Keep the language precise and connected. This small self check can improve both content and presentation before an examination.
You can also turn this into active recall by teaching the poem to a friend in 1 minute. If your friend asks why a dark image can produce a positive effect, explain that the poem finds beauty and renewal in an unexpected natural moment. Teaching forces you to connect the literal event with the larger emotional meaning.
Thank you for revising Dust of Snow with us. Remember the complete picture. Nature acts through a crow shaking snow from a hemlock tree. The snow changes the speaker's regretful mood, and a small moment saves part of a day. Your next step is to write the 3 sentence summary and one full answer now, while the ideas are fresh. Keep observing the small moments that can change how a day feels, and keep learning with Etsy whenever a precise doubt appears. We will meet again in the next revision.
And carry one final thought with you. A moment may look small outside, yet touch something much larger with us. That is the lasting insight of Dust of Snow. Revise steadily, trust your reasoning, and take care.